23 payments, 1 month, $897 in income. Let's break down exactly how this portfolio did it. Welcome back everyone, I'm the Swedish dividend investor. So, April has wrapped up and it was a pretty good month. My spring cleaning or rebalancing has continued and is still not done. I sold some holdings and bought some more of what I already own. As usual, we will go through my portfolio value and performance year to date. All the distributions, dividends and interest rate income I got paid in April. We will compare it to April of last year, and we will do a new segment where I show you guys how my portfolio is currently looking. As always, this is not financial advice. I'm just sharing my own investing journey, my experiences and my analysis. Read the full disclaimer in the description. So, for new viewers, I have two accounts, my main portfolio and my high yield portfolio. Yes, I know, almost everything I hold is high yield, but the combined value of both portfolios are 1,473,676 Swedish crowns. The dollar at the time of the recording is 9.25 Swedish crowns. So, that makes the total value $159,316 or 135,822 in euros. Starting with the performance for the main portfolio. Year to date, I'm up 7.94%, and the green line is my portfolio against Dow Jones, Nasdaq 100, S&P 500, MSCI World and OMX Stockholm all shares. And it is total return, so dividends are included. So I am doing pretty well and currently just above the benchmarks. Looking at my high yield portfolio, we can see it has recovered from the lows of about negative 10%, currently sitting at negative 3.41%. Now, this is only about 10% of my capital, which makes it pretty easy to calculate the total return between both portfolios. We just move the decimal to the left and deduct that from the main portfolio performance. Alright, let's get into what you came for, dividends. For the first week, I received 6 payments. First out is Gladstone Capital, ticker GLAD. It's good to see the BDCs, business development companies, have started to recover a bit. GLAD pays monthly, and my 100 shares each paid $0.15. So, using some Galaxy Brain math, that comes out to $15. But not so fast. The deep state's pockets need to be filled. In the case of American stocks, the theft fee is 15%. So we remove 2.25 and we get a net payout of $12.75. Let's continue with some more BDCs. Capital Southwest, ticker CSWC, another monthly payer. This month they also paid a special dividend. So my 80 shares each paid me a combined dividend of $0.2534, so a total of $20.27. Removing the theft of 3.04, we land at $17.23. Next one, Pennant Park Floating Rate, ticker PFLT. It's the last of my monthly paying BDCs, but not the last BDC this month. My 203 shares each paid me $0.1025, total of $20.80. Removing the tax of 3.12, we land at $17.68. Off to a good start with the monthly payers. Moving on with the next one. Ares Capital, ticker ARCC. Another BDC. This one is a beast. It's the largest publicly traded BDC, and I pay quarterly. My 62 shares each paid me $0.48, a total of $29.76. Removing the tax of 4.46, we land at a net payout of $25.3. That's it for BDCs for now. Next one is a favorite of mine. First Trust Vest S&P 500 Dividend Aristocrat Target Income ETF, ticker KNG. Man, I fell in love with this one when I started to look into it. dividend aristocrats with a small bit of covered calls, yielding over 8%. Now, that's a sleep well at night factor. It is currently my largest position, but my then 630 shares each paid me 0.1456, a total of $91.73. And I don't pay any taxes on distributions from ETFs domiciled in Ireland. I know Brussels hate this. Alright, last payment for this week. HP Inc. Ticker HPQ. Oh boy, I have held on to this for quite some time, and I received a pretty decent chunk of dividends throughout the years. But it was time to say goodbye. I did the math, and even if I sold with a loss, I would heavily increase my monthly income. Maybe it was stupid. Maybe they will blast higher in a couple of months. I don't look back, and I don't have any regrets. My then 150 shares each paid me $0.3, a total of $45. Parting ways with a tax of $6.75 leaves us with $38.25. So long, HP. Summing up the first week and the monthly total so far, we land at $202.94. Nice. For the second week, I received 5 payments. First out is the JP Morgan family. JP Morgan US Equity Premium Income ETF, ticker JEIP or JEPI. Another holding I sold. I wasn't really that happy with it. Maybe it will do a comeback someday. I moved the money to its bigger brother. Anyway, my 36 shares each paid me $0.1196, so a net payout of $4.3. It was a very small holding anyways. Next one. JP Morgan Nasdaq Equity Premium Income ETF, ticker JEQP or JEPQ. Like I said, I moved the money from JEPI to this one, lowering my cost basis. And now the performance doesn't say negative 17%. Both JEPI and JEQP were small positions, but I have started to increase my holding in this and another Nasdaq covered call ETF. More on that later. My then 36 shares each paid me $0.1823, so a net payout of $6.56. Time for the oldest brother. JP Morgan Global Equity Premium Income ETF, ticker JGPI or JEPG. I finally started to add to this one, since I made it my largest position by far last year, and I didn't want it to be a bigger position, but things have changed. My then 480 shares each paid me $0.1358, a grand total of $65.18. Next up is a Swedish stock. Cibus Nordic Real Estate, ticker CIBUS, on the Stockholm Stock Exchange, a monthly paying real estate company with a focus on grocery stores. My 443 shares each paid me 0.871 Swedish crowns, so a total of 385.85 Swedish crowns. I don't pay taxes on dividends from Swedish companies, so let's just convert it to freedom units. We land at $41.71. Next up, a Swedish covered call ETF. Montrose Global Monthly Dividend MSCI World ETF, ticker MONTDIV on the Stockholm Stock Exchange. Now, this is another holding I just let go of. I was kind of disappointed with the low distribution and the underperformance. Not a great combo. My then 309 shares each paid me 0.4388 Swedish crowns, a total of 135.59 Swedish crowns. Converting it, we land at $14.68, and again, no taxes. Would I buy this again? Maybe, if they get a bit more aggressive with their option strategy. I would love to own a covered call ETF in my native currency. Maybe we will get a good one in the future. So long, Montrose. And that wraps up the second week. Summing up the second week, we land at $132.43. Adding it to the monthly total, we land at $335.37. For the third week, I received 4 payments. First out is Volvo, ticker VOLV.B on the Stockholm Stock Exchange. Yet another sell. I've made good money off Volvo, and it's not a bad company, but they did reduce the dividend this year, and I'm thinking the party might be over for this cyclical stock for now. Want to know the details behind my selling, like total return and such? Let me know. My then 112 shares each paid me 13 Swedish crowns, so 1,456 Swedish crowns in total. Converting it, we land at $157.4. Thank you for your service, Volvo. Next up, Realty Income, ticker O, still having some great gains this year, and I'm still patiently holding and collecting dividends. This month, my 111 shares each paid me 0.2705, so a total of $30.03. Removing the tax of 4.05, we land at $25.98. Sweet. Starwood Property Trust, ticker STWD. Another stock from a high yield portfolio. This one is not a BDC, but a REIT. They pay quarterly, and this month my 100 shares each paid me 0.48, so that's $48. But we do need to part with 7.2, bringing the net payout to $40.8. Thanks. Last payment for this week coming up. Invesco Nasdaq 100 Income Advantage ETF, ticker QQIA. Welcome to the family. I did buy this in March and April. I don't want too much exposure to overvalued American tech companies, so I do have to keep this JEQP and other ETFs at a lower allocation. But I am not disappointed so far. I'm up currently, and it seems to follow the Nasdaq very closely. My 158 shares each paid me 0.1655, so we land at $26.15, and again, no taxes. Summing up the third week, we land at $250.33. Adding it to the monthly total, we land at $585.7. I'm a small creator on YouTube. Giving a like, comment and subscribing does help a lot. Thanks. For the fourth week, I received 7 payments. First out is Global X S&P 500 Covered Call ETF, ticker XYLU or XY7D. I'm holding this as the only exposure to S&P. I would want another ETF with a more conservative option strategy, but this will do as for now. My 210 shares each paid me 0.148, bringing the total payout to $31.08 and no taxes. 2 more Global X ETFs. Global X Nasdaq 100 Covered Call ETF, ticker QYLD or QYLE. I am contemplating selling this one and shifting it to JEQP and QQIA, since they are less aggressive with their call strategy, catching more upside than this one. But the yield is very high and my total return is positive. My 196 shares each paid me 0.1604, so that lands us at $31.44. Next one, Global X Euro Stocks 50 Covered Call ETF, ticker SYLD or SY7D. I feel the same about this one as with QYLE, since we got the JP Morgan Europe Equity Premium Income ETF. This one feels a bit unnecessary with their over-the-top aggressive options. However, I am in no rush to sell this since it's a smaller position. My 125 shares each paid me 0.1426 euros, so a total of 17.83 euros. Converting it to dollars, we land at 20.98. Another favorite coming up. Han ETF Infrastructure Capital Preferred Income ETF, ticker ASWN or PFFI. Another one of my biggest holdings and 1/4 of the core 4 in my portfolio. I do like the consistent dividend from this one. High yield but no covered calls. My 733 shares each paid me 0.1339. So, with no taxes, we land at $98.15. Danke. 3 more BDCs coming up. Blue Owl Capital, ticker OBDC. Now, do not confuse this one with your private equity equivalent. This is the publicly traded BDC. It has been dragged down by the private fund, but I have confidence in holding this one. They pay quarterly, and my 139 shares each paid me 0.37, so a total of $51.43. Removing the tax of 7.71, we land at $43.72. The next 2 payments is a first for me. Morgan Stanley Direct Lending Fund, ticker MSDL. I bought this one and the next one in January or February. I haven't really gotten around to do a video about them. Stick around. Anyway, my 104 shares each paid me $0.45. That's $46.8. We do need to part with 7.02, which leaves us at $39.78. Last dividend payment for the month coming up, but not the last payment. Blackstone Secured Lending Fund, ticker BXSL. Another high-yielding quarterly paying BDC. I got this and MSDL at a price I had in mind and struck when I saw them drop down below. My 66 shares each paid me $0.77, so $50.82. Removing the withholding tax of 7.62, we land at $43.2. Let's hold off on summing it up and do the 5th week, where I received 1 payment. That being interest from my savings account. I only get a 1.3% interest rate, but I do pay monthly. So I got 45 Swedish crowns, but I do have to pay a 30% tax on that. We remove 13.5 and we're left with 31.5 Swedish crowns. Converting it, we land at $3.4. Summing up the 4th and 5th week, we get $311.75. Adding it all up for the grand total for the month, we land at $897.45. In euros, that's 762.84. Let's compare that with April of 2025. I keep track of every payment in my dividend tracker. So, we can see I was paid 8,196.38 Swedish crowns or 886.1 in dollars. Now, in Swedish crowns, that's just above last year. Like I said in my last video, Swedbank usually pays in April, but I also sold Ahold Delhaize, which also pays in April. So I think I had a pretty good month in April, all things considered. The difference calculation is the following. We see a small gain of 1.28% compared to last year. Now, next month, May, is a very special month. Many Swedish companies only pay dividends once per year, and a lot of them pay in May. The number to beat is a massive 12,755.35 Swedish crowns, or 1,378.96 in today's dollar value. Make sure to stick around for that update. Moving on with my dashboard page, we can see every metric for my income. I am sitting at 106.6k Swedish crowns per year in after-tax income. I would like to push that to 120k before 2026 is over. I did the math and I have to be pretty aggressive, but I think I can do it. That would mean entering 2027, I may get an average after-tax income of over 10k per month. That is absolutely mental. That's about what I save from my salary each month. let's check my holdings by value. You can just pause if you want to see the whole pie chart. So, my top 10 are the following: KNG, JEPE, PFFI, JGPI, Exact Nordic High Dividend Low Volatility, Tele2, British American Tobacco, Realty Income, Cibus, and Altria. My top 10 payers as for now are the following: KNG, JEPE, PFFI, JGPI, Vårenergi, Tele2, Exact, BTI, Cibus, and QYLD. That's about 63% of my total income. Feel free to pause to check these ones: sector allocation, ETF allocation, currency exposure, and income structure. So that's my investment income in April. But I want to know how your month was. What was your total or your biggest payer? Let me know in the comments. But that's it for today, guys. I will see you in the next one. Until then, stay smart, stay patient, and keep stacking those dividends. Ha det gött!